ZD, mic test?
Wait, are we recording right now? Can that be the intro? Can that be the intro? Please. Wait.
You're welcome.
Hello and welcome to the Central Nerdous System podcast where everything is nerdy. We are here today. We're going to talk about some stuff. First, let's introduce you to everyone here. I'm John. Over here we have Tyler Colessa.
Hi.
We're going to call him Chico.
Indeed.
We have John Zamilio. We'll call him ZD.
Hello.
And we have Tyler Benoit. We'll call him Tyler.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
So, for this podcast, we don't have as many topics as we usually have, but they're kind of big things that happened this week. So,
we got some big stuff.
We got some big stuff this
Got some
week.
big packages.
If you see a topic that interests you, but you're not sure when it is in the video, in the description down below will be a directory to all of the topics we talk about today, along with articles that pertain to the topic for further reading. But first, let's talk about the one that you three are excited about, Destiny.
Destiny!
You three
Indeed.
have been so excited about Destiny. I'm the only non-Destiny person here. I don't own a next-gen console, nor am I a big shooter MMO player. So I'm kind of out of this one. It's going to be mostly you three talking with me, asking questions to...
That's actually really funny that you called it a shooter MMO because there's nothing else like that.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
it's
of
already
both
caught
genres
on.
I don't play.
True.
Borderlands is close to it if they had it
Right.
all. John, how about that we do this to make it really nice and organized so we're not all over the place? Because we have a lot to say, all three of us, obviously. How about you come up with a question, and then you have each one of us answer, and then we discuss for each question.
All right, that sounds like a good idea.
Solid.
So let's get started. Now, first question, who here bought Destiny? All right. So we finished that topic. Thank you for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye.
No, we'll continue.
Can you not tell?
Just put the poster in the background.
So the big thing about this game, a lot of the hype about it, was the price tag on it. It had a huge budget. How many millions of dollars?
$500 million for a 10-year game.
All right,
Thanks.
so with the game out in the hands of the consumer, they've been playing it nonstop for the past couple of days. You three are part of our test crowd of them. Was Destiny worth the $500 million price tag? Chico.
Yes. Oh, you are.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Well, yes. I believe that although the story was a little dry and kind of reminiscent of Halo, they really excelled in everything else from the strikes and the Crucible, which is PvP, and just the fact that you can play with your friends and do so much more, and that they have so much content that they haven't released yet that they will be releasing. To me, yes, they did. It was worth.
All right. ZD, what do you think? Was it worth it?
I do think it was worth it. I completely agree with everything Chico said, from the story being a little dry, but I feel like it didn't have to be anything more than it was. They made what they promised, a massive online multiplayer shooter, first-person shooter, and no one really, well, at least in my opinion, I wasn't really looking forward to the story as much.
Yeah.
And I think for a 10-year process of releasing new content, I'm not sure if they're going to release new discs, like full games or anything. I don't think so. I think that the 500 million, a lot of it's going for advertising, because you can't go to any website without seeing a Destiny ad.
True.
I think we all can agree. Like, I think they needed a lot of that advertising money because they couldn't go all off of just the hype of Bungie. Like, sure, Bungie was Halo, but it's been a while since Bungie has been associated with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally think it was completely worth it. According to a website that I read, I'm not sure how legitimate the source was, but apparently they made back just about as much as they put into it in the first day of release, including all pre-orders and day of orders.
Man.
Nice. Tyler, what do you think? Was it worth the money?
I'm gonna agree with all of them on every point.
Come on, be devil's
What? No,
advocate.
no devil's advocate here.
Nope. I completely agree. Now, it's really mostly because for the okay, if it was just the base game that we have right now, I wouldn't say it was worth the budget. If it was just the base game that we have right now, I wouldn't say it was worth the budget. But that being said, the game itself, with Bungie always having amazing servers, like they're always good at connection usually, and like everything's usually smooth. I think the one thing that I like if your friends are online. What?
your feet just kind of like stopped, and we're like, did he die? What happened? Continue.
But no, the fair part is the fact that when you see a friend online, you could just be like, I'm going to join their fire team. They're in the middle of a mission. They don't have to stop their mission. They don't have to stop their game for you to set up a party, for you to start. You just go in. All right, so that means the connection, that all the technology there to be able to just go right into the game and start playing with your friends with, just the press of a button, just boom, you're in, right? You know what I mean? You can set up parties, and I think the way that they're doing it with saying they're going to slowly add content is going to allow the game to last. I mean, they designed the game to last 10 years, like CD said. That's why the budget's so, hefty. But I think the content that they're going to add slowly is going to let people have a lot of replay value for it and allow for people to play it for a long period of time. So, was it worth it? Hell yes.
Now, on the similar topic of the budget, I just want to know quick, how many people here played Grand Theft Auto 5? All three? That's great. Now, Grand Theft Auto 5 was also a high-budget game. I would probably say that would be the closest comparison I can think of in budget.
Wasn't it 112 million?
256.
256, so this game doubled it, but still hefty budget for that. Would you say that Destiny, for its budget, is more successful than Grand Theft Auto 5, or vice versa, or maybe they're the same?
Yes.
Chico, go for it.
Yeah, Chico, why don't you start off?
Sorry.
I don't know. I feel like Rockstar. I was actually reading about this. Someone was complaining about it on Reddit the other day. That was actually on a League of Legends Reddit, which kind of doesn't make any sense. But
if you can
I'll
find
get
that,
there.
link that here.
I will find it. But they were talking about how spoiled League of Legends community is, and how hey, basically all you have to do is post in the Reddit that something is wrong and it'll get fixed. Or, hey, can we get this? And yeah, maybe we'll get it in a couple of months. And then someone was talking about Rockstar and how they were like, hey, when are heists coming out? And Rockstar is like, oh yeah, okay, we'll take our messenger, send him to China, then send him back to America, then back to Russia, and then back to America, and then down to Australia, and then back to America, and then up to Antarctica, and then back to America, down to Antarctica, whatever.
No, he went up. He went past the North Pole,
yes.
And then to Antarctica.
Back to America, and then to the Rockstar headquarters to give the guy the paper that says, hey, we want heists. And then they're like, we might work on that. So, I don't know. I just feel like Rockstar wasn't a very good company for what they put out. It was a fun game when it came out, but it lost its luster really fast.
Yep.
And just a quick unrelated thing, why do you think it lost its luster so quick?
They didn't update anything. They added in player housing like a few months after release, and by that time, everybody was like, "Ooh, yay! Who cares?"
Maybe they just didn't care because they made back quadruple their money by the time
Yeah.
that came out.
Yeah.
But you think they would take that money and maybe put it into the game more, but
Maybe they're just
like,
greedy bastards.
Or
That's
you could put it
probably-
into a house in Belgium.
You
yeah,
could. You could.
VD, what do you think about the idea? What about Grand Theft Auto 5 do you think either was more successful or less successful with the budget?
Oh God, I think. Oh God, I don't know. Like relating the hype, like back when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, I think a lot of like probably about the same amount of people were excited for the game. Like everyone bought it, as you can tell by how much they made. And now seeing Destiny, everyone bought it and no one has stopped playing it, even though it's only been out for a few days. I still feel
yeah.
the replay value is like there, and it's gonna be there. Like when I bought Grand Theft Auto 5, I played it a few times because I felt like I was playing Grand Theft Auto 4, and I just didn't really find any replay value into it. Like it was just the same thing. And I don't know if they have. I don't know if they have any expansions coming out for it at all. Do you know?
Not as of right now.
If I heard about it, it would have
mainly
been reported
focusing-
on.
Yeah, they're mainly focusing on next gen, which I don't know why.
I feel like if they just put the time and dedication into it, like Bungie did, it would have been so much better.
Yeah. But Bungie is so much more of like a hardcore, like RPG shooter company than
Yeah.
mostly anybody out there right now.
They started the genre.
I
You
mean,
know,
Halo was such a
competitive
huge
shooters.
success. Yeah. I mean, they love all their games that they make.
And they also love their fans. They always try and make their fans really enjoy what they put out.
well, I mean, I guess the horrors in Grand Theft Auto 5 kind of were connecting to the player base. I know in the first 2 hours I played that game, I had a stripper from the strip club come back to my house, and I got her number, and that was the most exciting thing I did.
I think also with Rockstar is they're not very ingenuitive. Like,
Weren't they almost bankrupt at one point
I don't.
until Microsoft bought them?
Sounds like that could have been the case.
But I remember when Red Dead Redemption came out. Yeah,
My
When that
favorite
came
video
out-
game.
we bought that and played it, and literally it was Grand Theft Auto in the West. So I feel like they're trying to make whatever game they make into like a Call of Duty franchise, where it's just the same thing over and over and over.
Well, the thing I'll say about Red Dead Redemption, when I played it, I was expecting Red Dead in the West. I'm sorry, not Red Dead in the West. Grand Theft Auto in the West. But I feel there was a little bit more substance to it. I think it was like I'm trying. How do I explain it? Grand Theft Auto to me seemed more of a game you just kind of dick around in.
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead Redemption was the kind of game that required you to like kind of sit down with it, play it, really explore everything to it a little bit more. So it was I think it was a little bit more than just Grand Theft Auto in the West. Sure, same engine, and you can dick around in it, obviously, with like most games. But I think its story really had something there, and its environment was really compelling to be in instead of just your standard city. It was interesting to be a part of.
I hated the ending to that game so much, so much.
I never finished it. I sold it.
Can I spoil it?
I think we already spoiled it in the other one.
Caution,
Yeah,
spoilers.
we actually probably did spoil it already.
So I'm gonna spoil it right now. Basically, the main character that you're playing as is in his farm, and the marshals come to kill him, and he opens his barn door, and they gun him down. Can't save
Spoiler
yourself.
alert!
Can't save yourself. Can't do nothing. You just automatically die.
I just Googled the Rockstar going bankrupt, and I don't think it's legit because there's no solid website saying that they were going bankrupt.
All right. Fair enough.
Destiny.
Yeah, let's get back to Destiny. Todd, do you have anything to weigh in on the Grand Theft Auto comparison, or do you want me to move on to another question?
Well, I could say one thing though is that basically they covered most of the points of the fact that GTA 5. I mean, I played it. It felt the same as every other game to me. I think with the thing that Destiny's doing and what Bungie's doing is that, I mean, it hasn't put out a game since 2007. I mean, it worked on Reach. You know what I mean? But this has been their project. This is their baby right now. Okay, they've been working on this for so long that I feel that all those extra dollars that they say they're going to put stuff in, I feel like the content just going to be, compared to the GTA 5, is just going to be so much better.
So Destiny's like The Last Guardian for Bungie, only they actually released it.
Or it's like WoW. You know, they're still releasing content now for WoW.
Well, that's what I think. Because Bungie has this kind of quality to it that has a lore that a lot of people fell in love with. And a lot of people, I mean, the story was dry, but I don't think that's what they were trying to target in this situation. They were trying to target the people of grinding. I mean, this is grinding, but this is the main point. I mean, this is kind of off topic here, but this is the main point I want to make. The reason why I think Destiny is going to do so well is when you combine a MMO and a shooter, this is what happens. Is that, you know how when you're grinding in like in WoW or any other MMO, it's kind of repetitive and boring. Okay, when you grind in Destiny, you're having fun killing monsters, leveling your character up. So your replay value is even more because you trying to grind to get to the top requires you having more fun. And if they add more things to do and more strikes, more exploration, more stuff like that, the game's never going to get old to a lot of people. I mean, sure, some of the missions are repetitive as far as, you know, like 3 waves of people, take them on, but it still gets really intense, especially when they make it, the difficulty gets harder. So that's kind of...
Yeah, and that kind of segues into what my next question is going to be. Now, we'll send it back over Chico's way and we'll go down the line. So it's a shooter. It's obviously a shooter. It has MMO elements to it as well. What makes this game better than other shooters?
Oh boy.
Like, why would I pick this over, say, a Call of Duty or a Halo or I don't know, a Counter-Strike?
Well,
I have the perfect answer.
Yeah.
If you're not looking for just, you know, your normal shooter, then then Destiny is good for you. You know, adding in that MMO element definitely changed the whole playstyle of the game because now just looked over at the TV and dance party. But now with adding this MMO content to a shooter, you're getting rid of that, oh, let's say for Call of Duty, you play through the story once and that's it, and then you just go play multiplayer for the rest of the whole game's life.
I mean, some people didn't even play it. Some people
just don't even touch it. But with this, you're taking that story and you're basically, I mean, you're making a story, which you play through the first time, which it's all right. But after that, you get to go back to certain zones, and it doesn't even feel like the story anymore. It just kind of feels like this zone where you go and level up. But it adds this replay ability to the game to where there's just so much more in the end game than there was in the whole leveling process. Mm-hmm. Which that's true of any MMO. So I think if you want a game that's going to last and it's not just your normal shooter, then that's what Destiny is.
All right. CD?
What was the question?
You got that grin.
I thought you had the perfect answer.
Yeah, no, I just want to hear the question again.
The question was, why should I pick this game over another shooter, say Call of Duty, Halo, Counter-Strike, Papers, Please?
not a shooter.
People get
Shots
shot in
fired.
that.
Shots fired. Shots ready. I think that this game would be chosen. I'm not going to say should because there's always going to be people that like other games. I'm saying it would be chosen over a game like Call of Duty is because the entire game is creating your class. The entire game is a multiplayer game between you and your friends. There's so many different ways to level up. Like when I played Battlefield, I love that you could play the campaign and level up your online guy to face your enemies and have all your custom classes be off of your campaign. And playing Destiny, it's just like everything from that and so much more. And I'm pink right now.
He's
I
the
mean-
flamboyant guy of the group.
I'm the flamboyant guy.
I'm tickled pink.
Like I like that it takes a little bit of time to get to the level 20 experience cap, and then it takes so much longer to get to level 30.
Mhm.
And the only thing I can imagine, like a Battlefield game or one of the more recent Halo games or a Call of Duty game, is just not as much fun being who you are in the game. Like going into a multiplayer game in Destiny, like I am my own guy. I'm not like some guy who can just pick everything I have immediately.
Can I like say one thing though? To compliment that is that at the beginning of the game, like he's just off his point is at the beginning of each multiplayer game, it shows off every guy in your team and what they look like.
That is so badass.
Yeah, like it's like this is your team. Especially if you have a team of 6, it shows everyone off in a third-person view, or like you know what I mean, like not third person, but it shows them off in this nice little thing of everyone on your team, and that's great. Also, everything else is customized. I mean, your ships and everything else, and that's what makes you in the game. It really gives you your character more of a persona because you
don't have to and it doesn't feel like you grinded it out to get all that good equipment and customization
because you had fun shooting.
Yeah.
You had fun playing the actual game.
I want to know quick. For any of you who played Skyrim here, does does making your character and playing with them feel like when you make your first character in Skyrim and go through the quest with them? I just want to compare experiences.
It's a different.
From what
Yeah.
I played, the character customization at the beginning is really quick, but then as the game progresses, it builds on. But at the beginning, I didn't really feel anything special.
No, I mean you don't have to because most of the thing is just facial.
Yeah.
I mean you change your class depending on what you want. They didn't have to put too much into it because a lot of it's more your armor and what you want to look like on the exterior. But
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I just wanted to see if like what that would compare with. Like, I'm just trying to get a sense
like
of
it's
like
in its own separate category of feeling of pride in your character. Like
It's
the way you do it is different.
yeah.
it's like if you've ever played any like regular MMO like World of Warcraft or RuneScape, I guess, like Knights of the Old Republic, all those games. The thing that made you was that you grinded for all this gear that made you look like a badass.
Mhm.
And that's what this game does, and it does it really well.
And
you
all
don't
of the
and you don't feel like you're grinding.
No.
and the high level gear, everyone looks different. No one is the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether you're pink or you just have a different helmet that has a little bit different stats, but is still one of the best helmets.
You're all special snowflakes.
Pretty
That's
much.
what people like about it. You're special. So let's see. Wow. So I mean, I think I'm gonna let keep the floor open right now. Just let you guys all talk about your experiences with the game, what you guys like about it. I have no other like pressing issues. Unless I think of something, I'll chime in.
Chico first.
Okay.
Dance party.
I know, I was just about to say that. That is the best.
No, there is just this theory going around out there about the story. Uh,
Oh yeah, you were
popped up on-
mentioning this.
Yes, it popped up on Reddit, which they expect anything less. So this guy basically, this is what he wrote. I'm just gonna read it word for word. I was patrolling around the moon yesterday and was silently stalking fallen dregs, trying to listen to alien banter. I moved too close and startled one of them, who turned around and gurgled in broken English, kind of how the grunts in Halo do. It's the darkness, before firing away at me. Wait, are we the darkness? The more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Why else would aliens be relentlessly fighting with us without much justification? Although I can't explain why the alien factions would be fighting each other. Maybe the Traveler is a weapon and we simply don't know it because we're under its spell. And the alien factions don't trust each other with the Traveler's power. That's why I love the open-ended narrative Bungie creates. It eventually gets sifted down and sharpened over years of questions and added content to the worlds. So, I mean, this... When I first read it, I went nuts and, like...
Don't piss in my ear and tell me it's lemonade.
Started masturbating as soon as
But
you,
think,
as you read it.
think about it though. Like, names of the enemies are wizards, knights, acolytes, but the classes are titans, hunters, and
Yeah.
warlocks.
Oh
True.
my god.
We're basically an army of undead because the ghost brought you back to life.
Yeah.
That explains respawns.
Yeah.
What about the Vex? What if they're like Cylons, which we haven't? Why haven't we seen any other humans elsewhere? Yeah, and it's like it just goes on, and
I mean, technically we
It's-
are bounty hunters, and
Yeah.
technically sometimes bounty hunters don't have to be good. So maybe we're just evil bounty hunters, and we're just hunting down big figures on these other planets. So I don't know.
it's definitely something that the community is going to look at and
Like,
Yeah.
maybe because
art.
all the Guardians were brought back to life, in a sense, because it's how every character starts out, it may be blatantly obvious to everyone except the Guardian that the Traveler is bad.
Right. I mean, also spoilers. If you remember from the beginning, he revives you, says something like, "Oh, I'm glad it's you," and then you see the Fallen come around, and he's like, "Quick! I've got no time to explain. We need to go," and that's all he says. And then you're just in the game, and that's pretty much
Yep.
the only reason they give you why you got revived. Besides, hey, the Traveler needs you to protect it. So,
Hmm. Yeah, the voice kind of when you later, like after you complete the first mission or so, he kind of
Yeah.
explains a little more. But
and it
He
seems to me like the speaker of the Traveler, like the,
Yeah, the
speaker of
speaker,
the
yeah.
Light, he seems really shady.
yeah, I like remember when he like
It's
he was
just
like
his
very sarcastic. I know. I remember like when he walked away, he said like to the ghost, he's like hopefully he'll lead you in the right path or something. He was
Mhm.
kind of like sarcastic. So there's a lot of connections, and there's probably going to be a lot of conspiracies with the game, and a lot of made up fan stories. I mean, that's how how Bungie's universe has always been. They always trying to create connections that you wouldn't think that they're there, but that happens in everything. So
I'm gonna get
I
me
don't
a
know.
wall full of sticky notes and red string about this.
yeah.
Piece it all together. What does it mean?
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, that's what I got. So
So yeah,
Maybe
only
that's-
after what 4 days already have some
yeah, like,
fan conspiracy.
almost a week. It's been a week.
it's been a week.
A week from tomorrow. Or
Aaron, I want to bring something up about just the overall game in general. I keep seeing every day that the Destiny's been out, IGN has done a review of how long what every day of play, meaning, they got a little longer. They also calculated the main story is about 18 hours if you were to just play and grind it out. Just playing the story is about an 18-hour quantity. But there's an interview. The guy, he said on day 3 he was like, okay, there's a lot of content that they're going to be releasing, blah blah. And then day 4 he's just like, I feel like it's just, and a lot of people didn't like the interview, didn't like his article about how he just thought it was kind of boring and repetitive. And I mean, it shows that the community
Can never be satisfied.
no. The community went against him. A lot of people in the community don't agree with his article at all. Meaning the community, I think, is supporting Bungie and saying, and a lot of people think that this is going to be a great game. I mean, there's some people that just played the story and didn't want to play anymore because they thought it was too dry. Those are the people that are really just pessimistic and just don't want to give things a chance. As I played the game through the story, and you don't have to. That's the thing I like about it, is that you don't have to play the story straight, then go to the next thing. So like you could just be like, well, I play this a little bit of the story here, then I'm like, and then my friends is like, hey, let's do a strike. So we just do a strike, and then hey, you want to do the Crucible, which is the multiplayer? Yeah, let's do the multiplayer, and then you can just skip around, and then it all intertwines with each other. So like if you say, well, we're not doing so good online, we need to get to this level, so we can get this armor, so we can have more of this stat. Then you go back to the strike so that you can get more supplies and you can get better armor, so you can play better online, so your stats are better, you have more fun, you're doing better in the game. I think that right there, that substance of everything being connected, and you allowing to basically allowing every player to want to play the story and want to do all the other stuff so that you could do better. I think that's what MMOs always do, but I think this game really succeeded completely on that aspect, and that, I don't know, that's what I think. I mean, you guys definitely agree with me.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Going back to
Was that too much? I'm sorry.
going back to what the guy said about how it was just kind of boring and repetitive. I had a friend on Facebook post a picture of the game and said, you're not going to hear from me for the rest of my life. The first day he bought it. And then about 3 hours later, he posted a status and said, Destiny is the biggest piece of trash I've ever played.
Did he say why?
I didn't really see why, because he didn't post.
Because you unfriended him immediately.
No, I didn't pay attention that much. Also, he wasn't online at the time.
I watched a video review of someone who said something similar, and he said they just...
He's talking!
No, screw Chico. Phoebe, go ahead.
Where he said that they combined the Halo type of feel, the Call of Duty type of multiplayer, and the Gears of War art style. And then he proceeded to take a drill and drilled it through his game.
What review did you watch?
It was some Russian guy on YouTube. He had 500 views. I don't know how I found the video.
If you can find it again and link it to me, I kind of want to hear what he says about it, and I want to see the drilling.
I'll burn you.
Tyler, please.
I'll dissect you.
I mean, he wasn't online at the time, but I don't remember why. But I mean, giving a game 3 hours, I just feel like he didn't get much into it. And he was a massive Halo fan. He had one of the he was almost #1 in America in multiplayer, and he hated Destiny. So,
yeah, I think I know why. I think I know why.
Tyler's cracked the code.
No, okay. So, if you were really good at Halo 3, which me and ZD both played Halo, all the Halo games, the crap out of them, Halo 3 especially. That's my favorite of the Halo franchise. When you play that game, everything's handed to you. So when you play online, everyone has the same stuff, the same equipment. Nothing's different, okay? Then Reach, they slowly added, and that's why they got less people, because they slowly added effing classes, so that you have, like, somebody's got jetpack, somebody's got sprint, somebody's got this, and they're like, oh, wow, they're trying to go for, like, the whole, like, class system that Call of Duty did, where you have a class and you just use it. I think the people that don't like Destiny are the people that don't like that aspect of not being the same. Because when you play Halo 3, it's completely fair, because everyone has the same thing. And, I mean, a lot of people that played it religiously, played online, he probably played MLG constantly, which is, it's a symmetrical map. Everything is fair. There's no way it can be unfair. It's all based on skill. And those are the kind of people that don't like story. They don't like getting in. I mean, he probably loved the story. I don't know how much he liked the story of Halo, but those people that just ignore the story and ignore everything else about a game, and they just care about competing. I think Destiny does a great job of both. You have good competition, and they already hinted at adding they said, I remember in an interview, I don't know where the link is, I remember reading it on, I think on IGN, they asked Destiny, are you going to bring back the ranking system that you had from Halo 3? Which, again, was probably the best ranking system, which Hearthstone comparison kind of does that same ranking system where when you play, if you win, you go up. If you lose, you go down. Instead of like Call of Duty where you win, you go up. When you win, you go up. When you lose, you go up. When you lose, you go up. You just keep going up. Okay? It doesn't give me much of a drive. I mean, getting to 50 in Halo 3 was really hard. You had to be really good. You had to be consistent at the game. And I think then Destiny answered with that question saying, we got something better. And that's what brings us to the point that they're going to grow the game over time. Because I've noticed the trend with a lot of games nowadays is that they'll give you a game, it was hyped up, like GTA 5. So they give you a game, hyped up. They throw everything at you. So you play everything that they made. You get bored of it. Now you got nothing to look forward to. Okay? You played everything that they had to offer. They gave you everything at once. Destiny is trying to... Destiny is giving you the base game that they created, but they have everything else stockpiled, ready to go. So, like, say this is the gameplay here. So it's like, okay, opening day. All right, it's going down. Oh, we had a little bit of up because some more people bought it because they thought it was good. Then it's going to keep going. It's going to start going down again, and all of a sudden, oh wait, it's too low. So let's give more content. Right back up again, because they have that all in the back.
The Minecraft formula.
Yeah, I guess. That is the Minecraft formula, but back to the guy though. I think he just, that would probably be my answer. Only answer to it is that he just thinks it's just about competition and he doesn't understand the fact that it's more enjoyable to. Well, this depends on the person.
I'll be devil's advocate for the guy. I think though I'm not an ultra competitive, like things gotta be fair when I play a game. I do understand that there are people like that enjoy the competition portion, like everything to be like very fair, very even. So I can understand like his complaint if that's the issue that he has with it. Like, I'm not going to tell him that he's wrong for wanting to play that way.
Oh, no, he's wrong.
No. There's no wrong way to play a game.
But but the thing is, if he only played it 3 hours, put 3 hours into the game, he didn't even give himself a chance to grow his character and actually enjoy it.
I will say 3 hours is a little quick for this type of game. Like if it was The Sims 4, which came out and was lambasted by basically everyone, putting 3 hours into it, then I can understand, because it's something that you can do a lot of stuff within the 3 hours.
Yeah.
But with Destiny, it's a game that requires a lot of time invested for you to get to those things. Like, I didn't play it much. I only played it for a small sitting at Tyler's house. But I could see people liking this and going through with it and continuing on and having fun. But I understand if that's his concern, but I think he maybe is not giving it enough time.
No.
I agree.
Time is money, so he should go and buy a Rolex.
Yes. Yes, CD. Yes. John, you got any questions that popped up for you?
Yeah, I was thinking of something. I want to tell a little bit of an anecdote of me playing the game, and then I'll ask the question. So, I was playing at Tyler's house. He said, "Here, John, have the controller and play some Destiny." I'm like, "Okay." I was playing the game, and I was like, "Oh wow, these parts of the map were cool." And then I kept dying. Because every time there was a really cool portion of the map, I was like, "Oh man, I want to go explore that." It was an out of bounds area, and I died. So I just, my big impression from playing for that little bit, so it's not obviously like my full impression of the game since I obviously haven't played through it all, so don't yell at me, people, is that everything cool looking about the game results in you just dying and getting killed. So this leads me to my actual question. Concerning the environments, what do you guys think about like the maps and environments? Do you think they're really creative, really innovative, or do you think they're just kind of meh, or think they're bad? Chico?
What was the question? I'm sorry, I was looking for that.
Wow, okay.
I was
ZD?
looking for the source.
Nope,
All right.
ZD?
All right,
All right. I think that I'm just going to go through a couple of the areas and just give my opinion. I think that's a good way to describe what I think. The social place is the tower. I like it. It could be bigger, but I mean, it's just the social.
They are adding for more to it, and a couple updates. Because if you noticed at the tower, sorry to cut you off, I was kind of dealing with it. Is that in the back wall? There's open slits for this door that's kind of closed off. If you noticed that, ZD.
I did.
Yeah, well,
I told you about it.
Yeah, you told me about it, but I'm just saying they probably are going to open it up because you can see how much open space there is. They're probably going to add more depending on what interests there are. So,
I think it might be a little too drawn out because I know like traveling to one side to the other. Well, I think once they add more like shops, activity people, because right now you would travel across the map for one guy, and that's pretty much it. But I don't really have any complaints about it. It's just I don't really think about how good the social place is because I just go there and dance.
How's that dance party going?
I got kicked. It was out too long.
Oh.
I thought Earth was great in a way. I thought the landscape was kind of repetitive, but the dungeons and like mobs were all right. Like the beginning area, like all the landscape just has that same type of feel to it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler.
I can understand where you're coming from that. I can
Like-
say though, yeah, like, but each planet does have a different feel to it in landscape. Like, okay, Earth has, just normal hills, lots of rocks, and then there is some snow, and there's a bunch mixed into that, and that's what Earth would be. When you go to Mars, it's like, wow, you're you're in the freaking sand dunes, and like it's similar to a lot of the Halo's landscapes. Bungie's always done that with their landscapes and their worlds, is they've always had that same style. Like
The
for
location has the same throughout.
The moon is probably the most interesting one, I would say, because you're freaking on the moon for one.
In that one area
On
where
the
you can
freaking
just
moon.
see like everything, where it's that huge open area. That's my favorite spot.
I think that my favorite part with the landscapes and the worlds is that, yes, John was like saying the places are really cool, but you died to them. But the fact that that's your view and when you're playing, your background, the scenery in the background that you see, and it looks like you could venture onward. It's just it feels open.
Looks like you can venture onward.
Yeah, but John, you have to remember, you can't fit that much in one CD, in one game.
I realize map limitations, but they could have put the awesome parts like on the map.
But again, that awesome part was huge. You were like trying to go to.
Well, not like the lake, But like some other details were just like cool stuff, interesting terrain types that just were kind of off to the side.
Yeah, but that's again, it depends when you make a game, what do you want to be, wow, and that's nice to look at, or what do you want to adventure on? And that's where you kind of explore around and find things out. Like when you have your like bike, that your pod racer, I would call it, kind of sounds like it.
Star Wars reference, we mentioned them again.
Yep.
We mention them every podcast.
When you're going through each planet, I mean, we were going around doing, like, there's jumps throughout everything. You can do cool jumps. There's cool gaps you can go over. You explore and find them. It's kind of fun. We were doing this one patrol mission, and all of a sudden I keep going straight. I'm like, oh, this is a huge jump. And you experiment. So I go over the jump, and then there's this giant ravine. And I'm just like, no! And you just die. It's hilarious because you think there's a jump there, and it's more, I think, for you, allowing you to test things out and explore and find what's limited or not. That's where it's the both open world and limitations. I mean, it gives you a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
I understand. I mean, there's only a limit to the open world here. We're not playing Minecraft. We're not playing a game that would be considered an open world sandbox.
Yeah.
It's just that for me, I was relatively underwhelmed with the environments. I mean, from what I played, which not a whole lot, but I did play it. I did experience some of the game. And that's basically the biggest thing I experienced because that's all I really was doing, exploring a little bits and pieces of it. And it's just that a lot of it didn't seem that interesting to me.
I kind of feel you on that, John. Like, there's a handful of places where I did go wow to the in-game playing environment, but I definitely did say wow a lot more to the places you couldn't go, and I understand.
Yeah, I mean, graphically, the game looks really nice. Really good graphics. I mean, it should be for that budget. But, like, was he just kind of saying the social area, it just looks kind of boring to me. There wasn't enough. It wasn't like, didn't look good enough, in my opinion, what I thought
Like,
what a social environment would be in this kind of thing.
Like maybe if they had the social environment in the city below near the giant globe, and the tower was a place you could go to see.
Well,
They've
I'll
had
counter.
some damn color.
Well, let me counter this on that. That's your opinion,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
is that what their lore and what they're going for? I mean, maybe because you got to think about the story aspect to it. This is they rebuilt. Okay, so the town. If you want the story of it, the town where you're in, the social.
I know.
area.
All I'm trying to say is that I feel like they
Sorry.
could have done more with the social.
No, you're not. Let me finish. Let me finish. Okay,
Fight,
so
fight.
no, I was counteracting John, not you.
Oh,
Countering John. So the social area, what they're doing, if you look, the story is that they built this city because they were destroyed, this life form or whatever from the fall on the first time. This is their only place where they can gather and live. They rebuilt it. It's not like they grew it over. I mean, it's not like it was a massive structure that's supposed to look amazing because they had the technology and stuff. They had to rebuild it. So it's not. If you look at the story aspect, it shouldn't look amazing because they kind of rebuilt it, and that's what their only place to live is. And again, for the base game and with the content involved, because it's a shooter game, okay? There's not a lot in the social area that you need. There's not a lot you can offer to grow your, like, there's not a lot you can really do with your guy. With the shooter genres, if there is more classes and more spells and more, if they had buy and sell a little more and like auctioning, that's the real MMO, when you can auction, sell, trade. But they didn't go for the full MMO approach. Now we don't know if they're going to do that or not. We don't know what, that's the thing, is that we can't. That's why I'm being optimistic about everything, because you don't know what they have up their sleeve. That's, I think, what's really setting aside Destiny from other games is that there's a lot of optimism there, and there's a lot of mystery. What can happen? What are they going to add to it? What are they going to build? But
you can play soccer.
But I understand that, yes, the base area is kind of dark, but when you went there, John, it was nighttime. You realize it changes from night to day as it cycles through.
Yeah.
So you didn't really see the color of the environment.
Well, I mean, I saw there was some day over there. I saw some sunset. Nighttime obviously was where I spent most of the time. I do want to counter your counter. You saying that with the lore, it's supposed to be not as magnificent and wonderful. With stuff like Red Dead, we're bringing them up again, and what's some other stuff? I mean, just anything where there's even like small villages as your social area. The thing about it, it doesn't need to be like immaculate and like. It doesn't have to be a tower that goes 50 bajillion feet in the air and have all these like cool shards and color. It doesn't have to be like vomiting rainbows out at me. I mean, it just has to look compelling. There has to be something interesting to it. If there's a decrepit thing, say, then it has to look interestingly decrepit. If this is a tower, which is a really tall, proud structure, and looking at the cityscape below, though they have fallen on rough times, it still looks relatively futuristic. It's just that looking at the tower, it's just kind of bland. It's just a very bland tower, and I can see some occasions where you want something kind of bland and neutral, but in this case, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a place I'd want to hang around. It just doesn't. It's not really compelling to be in. And same with some of the environments. Some of them just kind of look plain to me.
I have something against them too. But...
So
a counter to my counter of your counter.
So tying that whole bland, not really compelling environment back to that fan theory. Are we really the darkness? Is that why it's so dull?
Why? They're going to say that just to cover their ass about it. We planned it. We planned it.
I agree with John, and I agree with Tyler.
I'm more siding with John on this one.
And I'm gonna kind of have to correct something on Tyler's part. I don't think that the tower was destroyed and rebuilt. The tower was the last place that they could hold. That's where the Guardians live. Like, that's what the Guardians protected. The city and everything else around it, including the Traveler, was almost destroyed.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I did not, wasn't sure about that. I must have misheard the thing, but...
yeah, like...
I think if they had the tower as it is, or maybe just a little bit less of it, and just have like a different environment as to go along with that, and it would have been better. Like, you could choose where you want to go be social with. Like, you can go choose to have a social you can go and choose, instead of going to the tower, go to the city right below the Traveler's planet thingy, and you just have a smaller area.
I really don't know what you're trying to get
like
at.
Having more than just that one spot you always go to, I think would have been better.
I mean, they may add more
without
like
making,
but that wouldn't make sense with the story.
Keeping it bland, like.
But Didi, that would not make sense with the story.
What's wrong with the city under there as it is? Like,
that's their last place that they're guarding. So that's where everyone has to go. Giving other places for them to be able to socialize wouldn't make any sense, because they wouldn't make sense with the story.
Well, they're still guarding the city as it is.
But your understanding is that.
Well, no, they're not. Well, they're not guarding the city.
They're guarding the tower. Not
even that. They're guarding the Earth.
Yeah,
technically. Because you never have a mission in that main city, wherever it may be. Every mission is outside of Earth, and because you are repelling the aliens from getting to your city again. So it makes sense that there would be no other place to go, because everything else is out in the world.
Like, from what I see from it, like, it's the last city on the Earth, And like, so you're saying that there's no one living in the city then, and there's no one protecting them if there were living in the city.
I mean,
You can't.
it's mostly slums, and they don't really need protecting yet because the dark.
And people don't
with
protect
the
the slums.
Well, no, with the story, the darkness hasn't fully come back yet, and that's what you're repelling. You're repelling the darkness from getting to that city. So once, I mean, if you saw at the end of the game, once you once you finish the game, the city almost gets like a new light to it, and the traveler gets a new light to it, and then maybe that's when they would open up a new area, if that, which you don't know, they might add that in later.
And that's where the optimism comes in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not siding with ZD on like it should be like somewhere else other than the tower. I think it should still be the tower. Having a tower is a cool idea. It's just that I think the tower, like design-wise, could have looked a little more compelling. That's what I was mainly complaining about. It's just that
But you were also saying that the planets itself were boring and dull. Like
Earth was kind of dull from what I saw of it. It looked kind of just like a standard shooter map.
Oh yeah.
I mean, wasn't like anything that was like, whoa, awesome. The moon was pretty fun though. Moon was fun.
That's all you did.
The moon was okay. I like the moon. I approve of the moon.
Let me finish this off here then.
You're wrong. You're wrong, and you're wrong.
No, none of you are wrong.
Yeah.
I agree with everything everyone's saying, except ZD's stupid point about going to other places. But
whoa, shots fired.
Whoa, shots readied on my end.
Yes,
you're gonna have to get into a multiplayer match now to sell it out.
Let me point this out, John. It's hard for me to kind of absorb your opinion to the fullest because you haven't played any MMOs and understand like ZD barely even freaking played WoW. He played RuneScape. Yeah, that was an immaculate, beautiful scenery. No, ZD, do not nod to that. No, their cinematics might have been cool, but the actual in-game, no. I played it just as much as you did, and it was no.
Mm-hmm.
I played it enough.
I played it longer than you.
I played it enough to be everywhere in the game, but the game, Destiny's, where they are. I mean, Tyler can agree with me because me and Tyler both played WoW enough to know everything about it and like how it looks and how it works. The tower, it's serving the purpose that it's supposed to serve. Yes, it could have looked more colorful. Yeah. It could have looked a little brighter. But then you have to look on. It's really hard to judge what they were going for because it's artistic opinion. Remember, Bungie could have had a reason why they made it dull. There might be something about it why it looks like that. Because if you notice, actually, I can point out if you go to the north, the one side, there's flooding and there's water. Like it was kind of destroyed. I don't know if you've seen that, Tyler. Like a lot of it, there's water just kind of like on the ground. It's flooded a little bit. That's maybe what they were going for, which was more of a rundown establishment.
Man, they had some serious flooding for that tower.
You kind of don't want to take away from all the other places as well, because even like with a social zone, you don't want that as a focal point. Like that's not where you're going to be spending most of your time. I mean, besides sitting there AFK with dance parties.
Yeah,
but.
You go there,
you shop, and then you go back out. That's about it.
I mean, I'm not arguing with Ty's point that it doesn't serve its purpose. It serves its purpose well. It's just that I mean, artistically, I think it could have been a little bit better looking. That's what I just feel. It looks kind of like a boring place. That's all I really had to say about that. I mean,
that's all I have to say about that.
I'm not biting my tongue.
Am I gonna die after this podcast?
You're gonna die.
I'm just gonna get run down in the street by Tyler. This is what you get for making fun of my game.
No, I'm yeah. No, I'm done.
I know. I mean, this is the guy I made fun of RuneScape one time, and he got mad at me.
So let's go down the line then and score it out of 10.
Yeah, Unless anyone has any other quick things to mention about Destiny before we get to our final scoring.
It's pretty good.
It's good. It's awesome.
All right,
He
Chico.
has nothing to say.
Out of 10, what would you give Destiny?
I'm-
He didn't
Oh.
say it yet.
I'll wait.
ZD.
I'll have to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 10.
Mostly because of the lack of a better story.
Yep.
And the single, like if you play by yourself, it's not much fun. Like it is a social game.
I did enjoy it's very intense though when you do like a mission by yourself if it's really hard. The story missions itself get pretty intense by yourself. That would be the only reason why it'd be more fun.
Like maybe you feel it more.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask a part 2 for all of you with this out of 10 question. So Chico, giving it an 8 out of 10, is this either the best or one of the best games you've ever played?
In its respective genre, yes.
What about all time? Like in terms of compared to the entire history of video gaming, what you've played so far, would you say it's one of the best?
It's up there. I'm not gonna say it's the best.
Not yet.
It's up there. The way I think of it right now is the way that people thought of World of Warcraft when it came out. It's a game. It's new. It's exciting.
Yep.
Where is it gonna go?
Yep.
So,
You just hit it right on the mark there, Tyler.
ZD, out of 10, what would you give Destiny?
give it a 4. I dare you.
Dare you? Double dare. Do 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 do.
I.
Boom, boom.
Come on, ZD, we're wasting sunlight.
We got other topics.
All right. In a nutshell, I love everything about it. I'd have to give it an 8.5.
8.5. All right.
Yes.
You and your half.
8.5.
Saw that coming.
I was
So-
just waiting for it.
so
I just
would-
wanted to...
Is this one of either your favorite game, or would you consider this like one of the best games of all time? Or
I think it is one of my favorites. I think I can't really compare it to all time because of how technologically advanced the game is to run, like all those graphics and story and multiplayer.
yeah,
Comparing it to
but
an
also
old
think
game.
about it, like Super Mario, low graphic count, not as much hardware, but still an awesome game. You don't necessarily have to have the graphic power to make it the best game ever.
Yeah, I know, but like it's just so much more to it.
So
Definitely on the top 10 of favorites, and yeah,
I forgot what your number 10 was when you did your countdown list, but
Binding of Isaac.
Ah, we have a new champion. All right, Tyler, out of 10, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9.
9?
I'm gonna give it a 9. Hold on.
What, you didn't give a game that came out a week ago a 10 right away?
Yeah, they gave. I respect both the ratings. I just give it a little more, because of my optimism with it, and because, like, I see where this could head. You know, I'm seeing the future for this game, and I think that's really why I would have given it if I would have given it a perfect score, if it wasn't for the story. If the story was beautiful, you know, and really kept you going, and it was longer, and if they were able to combine both and hit them right in the mark, it would have been 10 out of 10. Obviously, I mean, the story kind of made it not perfect, which a lot of people agree with. Actually, mostly everyone agrees with. The story wasn't that great, but there's a lot to it, anyways. But I give it the 9 out of 10 because of where it can head. As far as it being my favorite game, or if it's like the best game of all time, favorite game, it would probably hit the mark and around my top 10. Probably, it depending. It would probably be on the 8
Would
or
it knock
9.
Papers, Please out of number 1?
Yes, it would. It would knock it to the ground.
But Papers, Please
it's a
has
perfect
over
game.
180 awards. And
Yeah,
titles.
Oh,
it's
man.
won an Emmy.
It
Guess
has
what?
and a Grammy.
Guess what? I don't care.
It's the best game.
Let me. But I think as the best game of all time, you can't answer that yet. It cannot be answered.
Yeah,
That question
I wholeheartly agree with that.
cannot. Even with the whole me saying it's one of my best favorite games of all time, I can't answer that right now. I haven't seen what they have to offer yet, and that's why if anyone whoever watches this, this is the one point I want to say about the game, or any game or any video game you ever played. When you start playing it, don't say it's crap until you play it and really play the whole thing. Unless the controls and everything suck balls and it's just a terrible game in general. You already know it's a terrible game.
I mean, like, if it's unplayable from the start.
Like, if it's ET, then it's a terrible
Like
game.
Surgeon Simulator.
Surgeon Simulator is not a terrible game because the controls are meant to be terrible.
It's a parody game. He was the only one who didn't realize it. Oh my god, this game is horrible. I can't. These aren't realistic hand movements.
But yeah,
What
you
is
can't.
that face?
What?
That face you just made.
My face?
Oh, Judy.
That?
Besides the point now. Anyway, keep going.
But yeah, I think the final verdict for me would be that you can't answer really either one of them yet. There's too much that's going to come. But as of a game, as the game stands right now, I give it a 9 out of 10, and it's a very good game for what it is right now. Due to the fact of its cooperative feel, how well you can play with other people, and everything all about it. I think I've had a blast this first week, and I'm not going to stop playing it for a good amount of time. So.
Benoit for president.
I am not a crook. So I think this wraps up our Destiny discussion. What I do want to do, if we can remember this, in like a couple of months, I want to maybe have a retrospective on it, see if it still is held up.
If we're still playing this in a couple months, it did its job and it's doing great.
Yeah, but I do want to have a retrospective, so give it a little more time and see what happens. Because, I mean, you can judge out of the box and get a good feel for it, but it's over time it really counts. So I think if we give it a little more time and give another episode to it, maybe, or at least part of an episode.
I feel the next couple podcasts will be bringing up Destiny a little bit every time. Because especially if they keep adding more and more, we're probably going to end up bringing something up every time.
So Super Smash Brothers has just been released. Yeah, but it wasn't as good as Destiny. So that basically does it for our Destiny discussion. Before we move on to our second and final topic of the evening, I just want to point out, for people who like just tuned in now, they probably just think we hate Papers, Please. We don't. We just I just want to clarify, Papers, Please is a really good game. It's just that Tyler just gets mad because NerdCube picked it as his best game of the year and looked over The Last of Us and other games in comparison. So we just bug him.
BioShock Infinite on his freaking
honorable mentions. Yes, BioShock Infinite was a honorable mention that year, and it got beat by games like Papers, Please and GeoGuessr.
What is Papers, Please even about?
Look it up.
We don't need to talk about it, but just look it up.
We'll put a link. You can look it up. It's an interesting game. But let's move on to the other topic, which is a big topic that is sweeping the gaming world. Microsoft
Bill Gates is dead.
has bought Mojang for $2.5 billion.
No, Minecraft community punches him to death, thinking he was a tree.
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
All right. First initial thoughts, Chico.
I don't know
Just-
what to think. I had honestly, there's not enough information out there yet. Besides that they've been bought.
It just happened today.
Yeah. I mean,
So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. Hopefully, it won't be all microtransactions and stupid stuff now. But I mean, you can't really mess with a winning formula.
Yeah.
if you want, what I honestly think they're going to do with it, I honestly don't think, all they're going to do is just, I think they're going to just buy Mojang and just like, because they're a subsidiary of their company, just get a little bit of the profits off of Minecraft. I don't see them doing anything like they go in there with their suitcases like, change the way you run your company.
Yeah,
I think they might leave them alone for the most part. If they do meddle in a little bit, I don't think it's going to be anything like super effective on the game itself. They're probably just going to release their normal updates like they always do. Maybe they'll do some Minecraft tie-in stuff with some things. But other than that, I just see them getting like some residuals off of it. That's why I think why they put that much money into it, because Minecraft makes a lot of money. And they want a bit of money.
I think it is for what Notch could have done. I think he chose the right move, because he's said multiple times that he doesn't like big corporations. So he could have chose Google, but he chose Microsoft. So he must think.
Actually, I read something with him. He wants like to leave the company. He wants to sell all of his shares of stock.
He doesn't like being a symbol for Minecraft. He wants to be a programmer, a coder. He wants to make games. And that was his reason. So, and it can only, if Notch is leaving and the top developers are leaving, but everyone else is staying. So I think with such a big cash flow from Microsoft funding, it might even be better. And I'm trying to look at it in the optimistic way like that.
Yeah. I mean, like, a couple of our friends, Russell, Jeff, Maddie, they were talking about it.
Russell bashed it instantly.
Oh, I know.
Yep, it's over. We're done. Doomsday. They're gonna close down all the servers.
Servers never happen.
I have a really interesting point when it comes to me.
We'll see if it's interesting. Go.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
I've got this really cool point.
no,
You guys will love it.
I think that this is actually a good move for Minecraft, for especially for PC. I mean, again, of course, you know, it's on Xbox and it's on all the consoles now. It's on everything. You can play it on any single form of gaming console or whatever you want.
Except the 3DS.
Except Nintendo, which they are hinting at maybe going to Nintendo, and probably won't even now happen because it's Microsoft is bought it. But think about for PC how hard it's been with servers and online, because you have to you could go to servers that are run by big people that can support it and create. Because look at Xbox 360 and how well it did, being able to have a world and you just create with your friends. And you have your own server. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay for someone to run it. If you incorporate Microsoft into that, they might be able to change it so that the servers don't have to be. You don't have to pay for them. You can just do it simply like the Xbox 360 does, and you just create. It might cause confusion with your maps, but they can probably work around that and just be able to put your map that you've worked on into a server that is run by them, and you just go on. Because that's how all the consoles do it. You're able to, with your friends, create a world, play on it. Anyone can come on, anyone can go off, anyone can build on it. And I think Microsoft buying the whole company might allow for all platforms to run that smoothly.
That would be a very interesting idea.
Because they have a hell of a lot more money.
Yeah, and I think also all the consoles might even be able to keep up with all the updates now. So like all the consoles might be updated because now they have the team of Mojang, besides the top developers, but the rest of the team, so they can end up incorporating on the Xbox 360, on the Xbox One, on the PS4, on the PlayStation 3, all the updates to keep up with the PC. I think that everything will be on a level surface except for the rendering of open world. That PC will probably be the only one that can handle that.
And
How much
PlayStation. Microsoft is going to send them back to alpha.
Actually, there's a article going around that from Mojang that said that, I mean, it's already on all the systems. If I remember he said something about it's not up to Microsoft whether they keep it on those systems. It's up to those companies whether they keep it on the systems. Now that it's technically kind of a conflict of interest.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because it's like PS4 is going to have it on. Sony's going to realize they have Minecraft on their PS4 and it does really well, but it's benefiting their competitor.
Yeah.
That's where it gets like, I don't know what we should do. Keep our people happy or...
I feel with Sony, they'd be stupid to take it away because Sony's always been customer focused.
And Sony's winning, and why ruin it? I mean, they're already beating... Microsoft's going to do whatever it can to make things better and try and get ahead of Sony, but Sony's just winning the race. So Sony is probably the best to keep it on.
What will make people like us again? Buy the biggest game ever. But, I mean, going back to what our friends were talking about, Russell was, like, doomsday, wearing the sign, going down the streets, like, end is nigh. Our friend Jeff, pretty optimistic about the idea. He was...
me, like...
I actually was relatively surprised, like Russell, like, not to judge Jeff's character or anything. Just, like, I like to see that optimism. I figured most people, like, in our group would just be like, it's done. We're dead. We're dead.
That's how everyone was with Google buying
fetal
Twitch.
position. Fetal position.
Yeah, we're actually gonna be revived by ghosts. We're undead. We're Guardian.
Yeah.
So technically my term is up. Benoit Kalesa from Mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those at home, this is just like we have our own Minecraft server. It's got a town on it that we haven't done much lately, but we have elections and politics. It's really nerdy stuff, but that's why we're the central Nerdous system.
Yeah.
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 Thank you. I know I'm the best mayor. Thank you. Calm down.
I did a fine job.
Oh, yes. Fine job.
No, you did just as bad of a job as Chico did. Oh.
It's okay.
Shots fired.
I don't need you, you low-life peasants. I live in my mansion.
All up in Wisconsin.
I made you go bankrupt.
We have no money system anymore.
Technically, it's still sitting there. It's not moving around.
I'm just going to steal all your money now. Anyway. I don't care.
But do we have anything more to say about the topic with Microsoft and Minecraft?
On an kind of related note.
But not really related to the topic.
Any more to say about this topic? Yes, but it has nothing to do with the topic.
It has nothing to do with Microsoft buying... No, it does. Okay, it does.
All right.
So, Notch.
Quit sending me on this roller coaster.
Notch has a Reddit account, obviously. He posted a thing to a subreddit called Ask Reddit, where basically you just post a question, you ask a question, and people answer it. So Notch posted one. It said, if you had $2.5 billion to spend, what would you spend it on?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
A couple of them. I'm just going to read off a couple real quick. Like, pay debts, go to bed. I would buy an island, maybe some dinosaurs.
I remember the top-rated one said Minecraft.
No, it said I wouldn't spend my money on Minecraft.
Wouldn't?
I wouldn't spend my money on Minecraft. Another one was... apparently the Scottish independence movement right now is being funded by a couple who won the lottery. So he's like dabbling in democratic political upheaval. Sounds fun. the best one here is Taco Bell dollar menu. They wouldn't know what hit them. That's interesting. Invest in North Korea.
Oh.
Go ahead. Throw your money away.
Batcave.
What goes on with three viewers? Like they could view us in the first place.
I didn't know what you said. I just laughed because it sounded funny.
Too soon.
Oh. Wait, Tyler, you heard it?
Yeah, I heard it, yeah. I thought it was funny, but I just wanted to make you feel awkward and not laugh at it. I thought it was hilarious.
I got a message from one of our contributors, Joe. You guys all know Joe, right? Of course you do. We've done videos with him.
Joe Schmo?
Yep. He sent me a thing about it initially. He was like, "So, Microsoft bought Minecraft for $2.5 billion. Joke's on them. I bought it for only 26." Joe, he's a keeper. He's a keeper.
That's kind of funny.
What
Kinda,
if they
not-
change the name from Minecraft to Microcraft?
They won't.
And then
Minesoft.
make everything...
Microsoft, Microcraft.
Sorry. I just had to do it.
So, anything else on that topic?
I'm thinking.
Going once? Going twice?
No.
I'd give it all to
Sold to
Blowjobs.
Microsoft for $2.5 billion.
Yeah. All right. So, any other quick things we want to mention before we head off? Because that's all we had planned for today.
Wait.
It's about the Star Wars movie.
458 days till Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah!
So we mentioned them again. So Star Wars, that's coming in the future. He's got an actual guitar. All I have is Guitar Hero guitars.
I've got 2 guitars of that. I've got 4.
ZD, how many guitars do you own?
He's got a fan.
I
He talks like a robot in too.
I have a
It's like
Guitar
auto-tune.
Hero guitar,
Yay.
and there's a Halo picture behind the fan, so it's a Halo fan. I'm a Halo fan.
Yeah, take my joke from another podcast.
Yep.
Thanks, CD.
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
Oh,
Now
there's
I
something
gotta-
I want to mention. Coming soon, I think October 5th is what I read. LeapFrog Leap TV drops new console. Ow! Yeah, he's already going out to get it. Why is he giving his pillow a blowjob?
I don't know.
Reminds me of the blowjob machine end that I saw at the gym. I mean, when you go down on it, it looks like you're giving it a blowjob.
He put on his headset at the right time. Tell us
I was
more
like-
about this machine, ZD.
Well, when you okay, I'll tell you. When you sit on it, you put your
So that's
chest
all the
up
time we
against
have
it.
tonight, folks.
You put your chest up
we'll
against
see you
it,
next
and you
time.
put your feet on a pedal, and then you push forwards, and it looks like you're giving it a blowjob.
No, I feel like a crunch
No,
machine.
you're doing a crunch.
Well, you're sitting in an upright position.
Right,
I
instead of
like to
laying-
think that
instead of laying
ZD's
on the
doing it
floor
wrong.
and injuring your back, you're sitting in a chair that supports your back.
Yeah.
I
Well, no,
think
you-
So I guess giving it a blowjob is the trade-off for not killing your back.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that I smashed my head on the pillow.
Yes.
I still like to
Cool.
imagine that ZD's just doing it wrong.
Is this how you do it?
Oh, you're supposed to give the machine a blowjob and it makes you fit.
Mm.
That's how you do it.
So that sums it up.
I like how he went from LeapFrog to blowjob machines.
Go
Same.
from a,
It works out your stomach muscles.
I'm hid.
Oh god.
Sure.
Any
You should
last
trust
things?
me. I'm gonna be a doctor.
Oh my god.
Rubber gloves just scare me for some reason. He's gonna harvest
So-
like all my kidneys.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Yep.
Ah.
So yeah, I think that's a wrap up of what we just talked about. Ending it off with blowjobs. I think it really complements the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like when you get Destiny for the first time and you're playing it. It just feels like
Yeah,
you're getting a blowjob from the game.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to end this. Is that
Mhm.
guys buy Destiny? You virgins out there, you buy Destiny just to get a blowjob.
Destiny sales skyrocket from the virgin population.
I'm pretty sure all the virgins probably bought it already, anyways.
Yeah.
I know
So-
Tyler did.
Yeah. So that does it for this episode of the podcast. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit us up with a subscription, which will be like a blowjob to our channel.
Don't do it.
Oh,
Don't do it.
don't do it. You're gonna get your just don't.
It's really
BJ's,
messy.
BJ's
It's
all
really
around.
messy.
If you liked any of the topics we talked about today, especially our final topic, there will be links in the description below. And
Can you
just wait.
I just want you to put in a timed thing from this point to this point, just blowjobs. That's all it's gonna say in the description.
Blowjobs outro.
Put that as a tag.
Yes.
Yes. We'll get so many views.
Can you please and make the thumbnail just really correspond to the last topic?
A
LeapFrog.
picture of me on the machine.
I'll see what I can do. Well, that's gonna be some heavy Photoshop work. I'll see what I'll do with the. I'll probably make the thumbnail, which we probably have seen throughout the video before. It's just gonna probably be related to Destiny and Minecraft. I don't think I'm gonna go that far for the thumbnail.
Good.
Just Google search blowjob machine.
No.
Was Destiny worth the money? Microsoft buys Minecraft? Blowjobs?
Yeah. What if?
So if you liked any of the topics we talked about today, they'll all be in the description. Both links to when we talk about them and links to exterior articles. Continue the conversation below.
Whoa.
Continue it below in the comments.
And that's all we have for today, folks. We'll see you next time in the episode of the Central Nerdous podcast. See you next time.
See you later.
Bye. I love
Next
you.
week, reach around.